Right, Teddy, thanks for having us. Great to
No
be here
worries,
for one.
mate.
That first question really is, this year as a whole, it's been a nuts year for you. Describe it, how it's been, some of the lessons you've learned, and just the overriding factor coming towards the end of the year.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a mad year, a bit of a slow start. Obviously, first fight was July with George, and then fought in September on Almighty. So been a good year, 1 win, 1 loss, and fought 2 of the best guys in the UK, so I can't really complain on that front. Obviously, looking at the George fight, I want to get that again, but yeah, I feel like I'm in a good place, excited for the rest of the year. Obviously, we've got Almighty title back on UKFC in a few weeks' time, so it's been a bit of an up and down year, but I'm happy with where we are right now.
I want to go back to the Staines fight. What sort of lessons have you taken from that fight? Because I can see there's a few changes since that fight in your game. In the next fight, you see, I think went back more to your roots, didn't you?
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
I think just game planning that one. Like as soon as that fight finished, like my coach and everyone, we wanted that fight again because it was almost, we thought I'd be the one grappling Staines, and then after the first round, I landed a nice shot and he took me down, and his game plan kind of came through there, and I was thinking, well, I'm getting the better on the feet, so I may as well stay here. And he was getting the better on the floor, so he was looking for the takedown. So it was kind of like the reverse of what we expected. So being more prepared for that, I'd probably work a little bit more takedown defense and just even be prepared not to like overcommit to my shots for him to take me down. But it was one of them, like for 2 weeks notice or whatever it was, him stepping in, it was a good fight. And yeah, Barnsley next February, I'd like to get that one again, but we'll see.
I mean, were you a little bit disappointed you couldn't fight Liam? I mean, that fight was planned about 3 or 4 times in the pandemic, was it? Was that a little bit disappointment in there? Or do you feel like, in my opinion, you probably had a better matchup? I actually would think Staines would beat McCracken if they fought. Were you a little bit disappointed you didn't fight McCracken?
Yeah, and it'd have been nice to get it done at amateur, especially for that belt. But you know, maybe we'll do it at pro, maybe one day, depending on weight classes and stuff like that. But yeah, I think, like you say, I think Staines is like up there, like Staines versus McCracken as well is a fight that I'd like to see. So yeah, maybe we'll get that fight at some point. If not, I'm sure I'll train with both of them at some point in the future as well.
Who would you have in that fight, Staines versus McCracken? Who would you pick for that one?
I don't know. I'd say Staines just because he beat me now. Like, so I've got to like put him on a pedestal. But before I fought Staines, I thought McCracken would win.
Okay, and you sort of felt it.
Yeah.
With the next fight then, Damon on Almighty. Was there a lot of pressure on you? Because you never lost 2 in a row before in amateur, obviously. From last and you fought bounce back straight away. Was there a lot of pressure on you? Because there was like a change of opponent like within like a week or something in the fight, wasn't there? What was the overriding feelings going into that one?
I feel like I said that to you before, like about the pressure of like losing 2 in a row, because obviously, you know, like losing 1 in a row, it happens, but you have that motivation to come back again, and almost that fear of losing 2 in a row. It's like you don't want to do that because you feel like you're on a downward tear. But I mean, just that whole fight week and the weeks leading up, we had 3 opponents for that. We had Kyle Jones, Tieran Loughran, and then Damon Donald. All good guys, but like Damon Donald, I didn't really know who he was. I just knew he was some guy who won a few fights in Scotland. But as soon as Ray sent it through for the match, I was just like, yeah, anyone let's go. And it turns out like he caught me with a nice jab to start the fight, and I thought, oh, he's actually got some good hands, but it's straight down to double leg and into my strengths.
So in that fight, was the game plan to go take him straight to the ground, or was you going to think about striking with him?
It's like a bit of both, but as soon as I hit in there with anyone, it's like, why wouldn't I take him down? It's like my strong set. So I think especially after the Staines fight and the game plan was a bit off, we were just like, I'm going to get in there, land a few good shots, and then take him down as soon as I can. And that's pretty much what happened.
I seen you train a little bit at Manchester top team. Was that a decision after the Staines fight that you thought, you know, that's a good place for me to train, or were you thinking about it beforehand? Yeah,
that was. I won't really say anything brought that decision on. In general, I just thought like, obviously I get quality sparring at Hero and Fourth Dimension, but you can't quite emulate the different bodies. Like everyone's so different. So just going there to just train with like the amount of like 145 and 155 fighters they've got, it's like best place to be for different rounds.
And obviously 4 corner combats as well. Are you still getting over there quite a bit?
Yeah, so I've been down there twice this year for a week, so it's been good fun, and like the level there is ridiculous. Like Justin Burlington, Jack Grant, they're a bit heavier than me, but they're quality guys there.
Justin Burlington, he's fighting on the Contender Series. What do you make of him?
Oh mate, he is the best person that I'd probably sparred with, I would
Really?
say, in terms of level. Like, even when we do sprints there at Four Corners, you get up at 6 a.m. and be like hill sprints, and he's lapping everyone on him. It's just like different gravy, so I think he'll smash it.
Talk to you about the Techie Fighter as well, because they've sorted you out with kits as well,
Yeah.
and they've sort of sorted your shirts out and your kit wear. It looks really nice as well, by the way. So talk to me how that came about. And
It just yes, it been like liking a lot of my posts and stuff, messaging me before for a while, and then he just asked about sponsoring me. So for the last fight, sponsored me, made the fight kit, nice little top, and it's good to have them on board. The more people supporting me, like I've got a good few sponsors now, and they look after me. So it's it's just nice to have a good group of people behind me.
Was there any differences, by the way, with fighting on Almighty than UKFC? Sometimes I hear some people say they're a little bit different in terms of the way it's run. What was the differences you noticed on the shows?
There's no dig on UKFC, but I thought the last Almighty show was like way better than the past UKFC one that I did, because UKFC they had to change venue on the week of the fight. So when the George Staines fight was happening, it was on like an AstroTurf pitch that kind of turned into a venue, and there was like a little hole in the roof, so it was raining directly into the cage, and people were mopping it and like halfway through, and I thought about 6 o'clock, I thought I'm not going to fight tonight, it's going to get called off because of the rain, like some sort of football match. So I thought Almighty was a nicer venue, but in terms of the way it was ran, it's pretty much similar, and I know UKFC are backing a venue without holes in the roof this time, so we're good.
That's always good. I want to talk to you about a former opponent of yours. I don't know if it's I presume you've seen him, Connor Hughes. He's done really well in the pro ranks so far. I know you've already fought him. He's picking up some steam with two great knockouts. Could you see yourself going back with him?
It might happen at some point in the future. In the pro ranks, he's I think he's already 3-0 at pro, and now he's signed with UKFC. So maybe at some point, but I think the fight was pretty convincing for me in terms of the grappling. So it just if we were to go again, I'd just do the same thing and try and get the finish instead.
I see him, McCracken, Marlon Jones all sign these exclusive deals with UKFC. Do you see us then doing something similar with, not even UKFC, it's like a general promotion?
As soon as I turn professional, we'll sign a contract with someone, but I personally don't think at amateur there's any point doing it, because I want to get all the belts, I want to get a nice collection of them. So not for now.
Talk to me about pro. We've been talking about it for a while now. What are the sort of plans now? Obviously, we're clear future ahead with no COVID really layering over you.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a plan in. So we're saying spring next year is when we're looking to get on. So that kind of leaves 2 more fights this year, 1 at the start of next year, and then maybe another 2. That should make me about 15 fights at amateur, which is ridiculous. Not many people have 15 fights at amateur, so then straight into pro, more than ready to hang with the best guys.
Was there like a change in decision with that thing? So before you were pretty certain on going to the IMAFs, and then sort of was there a thing that sort of changed? Obviously COVID obviously made its effect. Was there something in your head that changed that?
I was meant to go to the IMAFs this year in November in Kazakhstan, but they've cancelled the whole tournament. So if they get one started next year, I'll jump on that again. But it's I can't put my career on hold for one tournament. I'm just gonna kind of set my trajectory now. Springtime, I'll turn pro, and then best fights I can get from then on, we'll go for that.
I want to talk to you about your next fight, Vincenzo Barnett, but it's at a catch weight, 68 kg, isn't it? And if I'm going to guess it, is this sort of a test looking at featherweight?
It's a bit of, it's 2 things. It's one, I'd always like to maybe try featherweight at professional, but I wanted 70, he wanted 66, so we just said we'll meet in the middle, 68. It works out well. It's a good test for the weight cut for me, but I think it'll be a tough weight cut, but I'm already just dialed it back a lot stricter with my diet, and I think as long as I come in a little bit lighter on fight week, I should be okay. This will be the decider whether I go to featherweight at some point.
Do you think if this does go well, this could be like, well, featherweight for me? Because you'll be a massive featherweight. You're already a big lightweight. As a featherweight, you'll be huge.
Yeah, maybe it depends. I'd like to be the kind of fighter that can jump between featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight, a bit of them all. But yeah, we'll see. I know most promotions like to stick at one weight, but yeah, we'll see. Definitely, if this goes well, featherweight in the future.
I've seen Curtis Campbell commenting on the post. Is there something going on with him? Or?
Yeah, there's like, I don't want to get into it massively because it's like there's beef, but you know me, I've not got beef with anyone.
So
I
you
like
trained
to be
together, didn't you?
mate. Yeah, so we trained together a little bit, but I think he thought I've turned down a fight from him when it didn't happen. His fight was offered to me, and we said yes, and then the promoter said they didn't want to match the fight because he was matched on UKFC, so it was going to be for Almighty. So there was talks of that one being in February, and like we trained together, we sparred together. But if he wants to fight, and I'd quite like the fight as well, it makes sense. I know it's a bit crazy that he's coming from bantamweight to lightweight in like 6 months, but it's a fight I never saw happening, but I'd happily do it.
I can't believe it. What do you actually make of him as a fighter?
Well, he's good. We when we sparred, like, yeah, it was tough rounds, really hard. So I expect exactly the same thing on fight night. But yeah, I think when it comes down to it, yeah, I'd be a bigger opponent, and I'd just do my thing.
And Vincenzo, do you know much about him? Obviously coming from Spain, no one would accept the fight, the captain said.
Yeah.
So you flew over from Spain. Do you know much about him at all?
Yeah. No, I don't know a lot about him. I know he's got one loss, which is to Ibrahimov, I think that's how you say his name.
Top team guy.
Top team.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously his one loss is from like a very legit fighter, and that was a decision. So I expect him to be game. I think he's young, he's like 17, good grappler, but yeah, just like literally everyone in the UK was busy or had like a reason why they couldn't do it, so yeah, we'll just take the best guy from Spain that we can get, like, yeah, best guys we can get, that's who we want.
So what's about this facility then? So it's the first time I've been here. What's it like for you having this? Obviously you coach here as well, and how has actually coaching helped you as a fighter? Because I see a lot of people when they say coaching, it improves them technically as well and their mindset towards the sport. Yeah,
mate, it's absolutely quality. Matt and Ryan just kind of give me free roam at this place as well, so do my PTs out of here. We've got like weights in the back, we have like good members that come down to train with as well, so I'm getting high level rounds all the time, and yeah, coaching's it's good fun. I think, like you say, to be able to do a technique's one thing, but then to be able to break it down and coach it, you need to have a higher level understanding of it, so that's helped me massively. So whenever I'm teaching like striking or jiu-jitsu one-to-ones, it kind of makes me think like, well, what do I do, why do I do that, and like, how can I tell that? So probably helped me a little bit, but I don't see myself being a coach in the long run. It's too much hard work.
Obviously you're striking, there's always been questions of your striking. How do you feel your strike, where you're striking is at now, and what level it's at? Decent?
Good, yeah. Yeah, it's one of them where, like when we touched on the George Staines fight, I think I got the better of him on the feet for that fight, and he's a high level striker himself. And obviously the Damon Donald fight again, that's one where there's nothing really showing in my striking. He caught me with one jab, and yeah, I might have jabbed him once, and that was about it. So I'm happy with my striking, always pushing to improve it. Same with my grappling and every part of my MMA. So hopefully we'll display it. Maybe in the next fight. He's a bit more of a grappler, so I might ping him about on the feet. We'll see.
I'll ask you about two fights. Jordan Vucenic was Paul Hughes too.
Yeah.
You've trained with both guys now, if I'm correct. Paul Hughes a top team as well.
Yeah.
You obviously last time you predicted for Jordan. Is it the same prediction again, or?
Yeah. I'd probably say the same again. Like I sparred with Jordan a lot before, and he's so technical. He's one of them people who just like, yeah, you can see how passionate he is about it and like trying to better himself. But I mean, you'd say the momentum's with Paul Hughes coming off that fight. He's on form. He'll have the Irish fans with him, so it'll be a much harder fight this time for Jordan. But yeah, I think Jordan will get it done, like grappling wise.
Talking about another Jordan, obviously trains at your gym, Jordan Coco.
Yeah.
You were in his corner of a weekend. What do you make of his performance and the work he's been putting in?
It's good, yeah. He's really stepped it up over the past like year, he's like started coming to fourth dimension. He started coming and training here a bit for his grappling, and he's like, you can tell his level's gone up loads. Made his amateur A debut last weekend, and just like levels above the guy. The guy was a debut guy, but it was just levels above him. Nice 17-second finish. It was like a bit annoyed that I had to drive him 2 hours there and 2 hours back, and for 17 seconds.
Finally, where do you see yourself at the end of the year? What's the plan?
The end of this year, where do I see myself? See myself 10-4, 2 more wins. Big win on UKFC, then fight on FCC before the end of the year. Maybe get a title, maybe Curtis Campbell, we don't know, we'll see. But yeah, just 2 more scalps on the record, and I think people will be looking at me. If not number 1, they'll be thinking I'm like the best lightweight amateur. I feel like I'm taking George Staines's place at the top of there, whether I fight him or not.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Any sponsors to thank?
Any sponsors to thank? Yes. I'll thank everyone who sponsored me before. So like Pitbull, West Coast, Techie Fightwear, TMG Group, Paul Lewis Consultancy, Shaw Financial Services, Bounder, and
Wingworth Flowers there.
I don't even know. Just everyone who's ever sponsored me. Nice one. Yeah.
Cheers, Danny.
Cheers, bud.